3 Days of Condor was a 1975 Sidney Pollack film starring Robert Redford, Faye Dunaway, Max von Sydow, Cliff Robertson, and it's really cool seeing all these pretty big stars from way back when, as them younger selves, in a 1970s paranoia thriller. Now, yes, some people do label a whole bunch of those political, really quiet-ish sort of heavily atmospheric thrillers from the 70s as like paranoid thrillers, because around that time you had things like The Conversation, you had Chinatown, there was All the President's Men, and The French Connection, if you want to even call that one a paranoid thriller. And yeah, 3 Days of Condor, I do think falls in that category. It was in 1975, so it was right around the Watergate time. What I like about certain films that deal with subject matter that I'm personally either not familiar at all with, or I personally don't care about. Whenever a movie like that, whenever a really good movie like that really grabs me, really intrigues me, there's nothing better than that. If a movie that deals with something that I don't like or don't care about, and it's and like there's a requirement, like you have to really know all about this kind of stuff beforehand, then you're just shrinking your target audience. And yeah, in the case of 3 Days of Condor, because it deals with CIA and assassination and things like that, it's like really anyone can follow this film. And yeah, if the movie was harder to follow, it wouldn't be as good as it is right now. Like, even though it is true, the movie it's not as well remembered as some other 1975 films like Jaws or Dog Day Afternoon. Still, 3 Days of Condor does not deserve to be forgotten. So Robert Redford plays this researcher in New York City who's working for the CIA. And one day there's a group of these assassins who wipe out his post, and Redford happens to be gone, but when he gets back, he's unfortunately framed for everything. So when he realizes that everyone has been killed and that they're trying to set him up next or frame him, Redford really wants to stay a couple steps ahead of everyone so that he can find out exactly who's trying to kill him and why. So when he's laying low, he ends up kidnapping and holding hostage Faye Dunaway, who's this photographer. The only reason he ends up kidnapping her, it's just by random, it's just by chance. And he figures if he's with this total stranger, then he should kind of be in the clear. It should buy him some time. So yeah, the people that he's working for, a whole bunch of people in the CIA are trying to destroy him. And why? When we end up figuring out why they want to destroy Robert Redford, it's true. It isn't until the very end when all loose ends really end up tying together. There's nothing wrong with that, but as I said, when we find out why, it's cool. It's good. It's good explanation. There's been so many really good thrillers where the why is it's not that good of an explanation. There's a few great movies that I love where the why is not. It's just weak explanation. But in 3 Days of Condor, that's not the case. Robert Redford is he's a good actor, great director, and I never really associated Robert Redford with getting like really Oscar caliber performances, but he arguably does so in 3 Days of Condor. I do think that this is probably his best performance. I'll admit, I haven't seen everything that he's done. I've seen The Sting, I've seen Butch and Sundance, and I've seen All the President's Men, but I haven't seen like one of his more obscure things or more acclaimed things or whatever. But still, I do think that it is safe to say that 3 Days of Condor, if it's not his best performance, it's got to be a contender for his best. And because it's directed by Sidney Pollack, like Sidney Pollack is a talented director. I don't think that there's a lot more that could have happened with this. If they would have gotten somebody else like Brian De Palma or Steven Spielberg to have directed this instead, could it have been better? Maybe, maybe not. But why rock the boat? This is a very immensely entertaining, fun cat and mouse thriller that I recommend everyone sees. I feel like giving 3 Days Condor from 1975 3.5 stars out of 4. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you again next time.